Hello, everybody. Tracy, Mrs. JDog Flanagan with you here today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president of JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures podcast, sponsored by the JDog Foundation. Our podcast gives veterans, male spouses, active military members, military family members, and patriotic military supporters a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they're affecting their communities post-service, and they share with me a tactical treasure that has shaped their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I am so excited to have with me Kijuan Amey, who has dedicated a decade of his life to the U.S. Air Force, achieving the rank of Staff Sergeant as an in-flight refueling specialist. However, life took an unexpected turn on May 5th, 2017, when a motorcycle accident claimed his eyesight. Medically retired, he transitioned into academia, earning a degree, and is now the visionary founder and CEO behind Amey Motivation, LLC. Beyond his remarkable military career, Kijuan is a man of many talents, boasting over 25 years of drumming experience, on-stage acting, and now an upcoming bestseller entitled Don't Focus on Why Me. Formerly serving as the vice president for the Carolina Regional Group of the Blinded Veterans Association, Kijuan is also a mentor and ambassador for the Air Force Wounded Warriors Program. Kijuan profoundly states, I may have lost my sight, but I did not lose my vision. Hello, Kijuan. Nice to have you with us on the podcast today. Thank you
Yes.
so much for your service to our country, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Tracy, or shall I say Mrs. J-Dog. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. So I'm really excited for our discussion today. I find your story, obviously we had a conversation, but also I have done some research and very inspiring and motivational your story is, sir.
Thank you.
Um, but first, before we get into all of that, I would love to know what inspired you to join the Air Force.
Well, the first thing I gotta say is I didn't want to go into the military to begin with. My first thought out of
Okay.
high school was actually to go to college. I played sports in high school, ran track, and I also played football. So I thought, maybe I could go to college because I really wanted to do computer engineering or software engineering, and I could walk on at one of those schools that I went to. And the
Uh-huh.
reason I say one of them is because the two best schools in North Carolina, which is where I live, I'm originally from Durham, North Carolina. So the two schools that were near me in the state of North Carolina that were best at engineering were North Carolina State University and North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University, which we shorten that and say North Carolina A&T. So those were the two schools that I wanted to go to, but I don't. I'm not sure if I didn't get accepted into NC State or if I just didn't apply. I can't remember. And then as far as North Carolina A&T, I did get accepted, but somehow there was an admission hiccup.
Oh.
Yeah, I literally had the acceptance letter in my hand from the school because it was mailed to me. I didn't go pick it up. I didn't print it off myself or type it up. So I was kind of confused when they told me that they didn't, have my information in their system.
Right.
So that kind of it took me back a little bit, because I was really bummed out. I really wanted to go to school, and I took school seriously.
Right.
I'm not going to say I was the only one in my family who did, but I did it because I cared about my schooling. And
Sure.
so, other than that, when I found out that I wasn't in their system and they had nothing in regards to my name, I just went over to the recruiter's office, and it was not the Air Force recruiter first. it,
Oh,
it was
okay.
actually Navy first. I went to
Ah.
talk to them first because I have quite a bit of Navy family.
Ah,
My
okay.
stepdad, he was Navy. My aunt and uncle, they met in the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Their son, their only boy, he went into the Navy, and then He got out, tried to play pro ball over in Spain. That didn't work out, and he's in the Coast Guard,
Oh, wow.
so he's currently still in. And then I have another cousin who's out in California. He retired Navy. I think it's like 20 something, 20 plus. I think it's 24 years, but 20 plus years. And then, excuse me, uh, I had Marine, I believe it was. He did one term, and then my great uncle was Army. I never met him though. He passed
Mhm.
away before I came along, due
Wow,
to cancer.
what a military family
Yeah,
legacy. Wow.
yeah. And I was the first. I won't say I'm the only because my youngest brother is now following my footsteps in the Air
Oh,
Force.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was the first Air Force, and let me tell you how I ended up there though.
Okay.
Because like I said, I went to talk to the Navy recruiter. Never forget Brooks. I'll never forget him. And as I'm in there talking to him, again, my whole purpose for being in your office, yes, I understand what I need to have in order to get into the military. I was in shape. I told you I ran track and played football. So
Uh-huh.
I'm in shape.
Right.
So I knew that. I knew I was intelligent because I told you I take school seriously.
Hmm.
All I needed now was a job because I didn't have anything on my background. Or when they do a background check, and there was
Right.
nothing on me. Trust me, I have it. It was spotless. So um, he, I go in to talk to him about the GI Bill because I looked at it online, but I just
Right.
didn't understand it. I'm only 18 years old. I don't understand your lingo, sir.
Right.
Please explain this to me.
Right.
Well, Sir Brooks did not explain that to me. He just kept pointing at this pamphlet on his desk. He's like, "Yeah, if you read this, read it." And I'm sitting there in my mind saying, "I've read it. I don't get it." I need you to explain. This is your job to explain
Right.
these things to me. Whatever's on your desk, you should be able to talk about it as if this was the last thing you would ever talk about in your life. And he was not doing it. He was just pointing at this pamphlet, handing it to me. I'm like, okay. So then he would turn around, hey, let's talk about some jobs, job. I was like, I am ready to leave because I get bored when I don't have any interest in what you're saying, as anybody would, right?
Sure.
And
Hmm.
so I came up with, yes, this is one of the times that I lied.
Uh-huh.
I pulled out my phone. I said, "Oh shoot, I gotta go pick up my sister." And by the way, I must preface by saying I was an actor back in my day. I used to do on stage acting, so I
So
know how
you
to
were
make
good
things look
at that,
real.
right?
Oh yeah, I know how to make things look very real. I had the face and everything. Oh shoot, I gotta go get my sister. It's like a movie scene. He's like, you sure? Hey, I mean, hey, I'll take care of you, whatever, and we can get together later. And he's like, yeah, sure. Here's a pamphlet. You can take the car. And so the first trash can I found, I dropped it. Yeah. I don't even think I made it out of their office before I dropped it. Anyway, I do not even leave the building. I didn't even leave the building. I made a quick left out of their office and a quick right into the Air Force recruiter's office. And as I
Okay.
walking in there, on the wall was a pennant that said Community College of the Air Force. And I said,
Ah,
well, that's a cool sign. And then as I walked further into the office, so the Navy recruits, they had like quite a few recruiters, but they also had some recruits in there too, talking. And so when I walked into the Air Force recruiters office, there was nobody in this office except for the two recruiters. And I turned right and I saw them standing there and I just stopped. I didn't walk any further. I just stopped. And I was looking at them and they were looking at me and I was looking at them and they were looking at me. And can we help you? I was like, I think I want to join the Air Force.
uh-huh.
Oh, we can help you with that. Come on in my office. And so, that's literally how it all began.
Wow.
Yeah. So initially, Navy because of the tradition and
Sure.
so many people that have been through that way, you know.
Mhm.
But
And
ultimately,
now you're starting a new tradition with the
yeah,
Air Force.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I'm
awesome.
sorry. I meant to mention my sister. She was in the Navy as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Okay.
literally like a lot of Navy. Yeah,
Really?
I
Oh,
knew I was
wow.
forgetting somebody. I knew I was, but yeah, my sister. She's
Don't tell
the
her
one right
that.
under me. She doesn't care. She was ready to get out of there. Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh. Oh, wow.
it was kind of like a stepping stone for her. She loves what she's doing now, though. She
Uh,
still works for the shipyard,
Oh,
but she's
okay.
just a civilian now. Mhm.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Excuse me.
So, so I know from previous conversations that you just love the Air Force.
Oh yeah.
Um, is there a particular aspect or moment from when you were in the Air Force that stood out as very impactful in a positive way for you?
Other than the craziness of air refueling,
I
listen,
know that is a pretty cool job.
listen, listen. There's nothing that tops that for me. I don't care who you are. I don't care. You could talk about the fighters and all the different cool things they do. Hey, they still have to come see me. They
Oh,
still
yes,
have
they
to come
do.
see me. They need gas. Their sports cars need gas. Okay. And so and they burn so much gas, man. It's crazy how quick they come back.
Oh, sure.
It's
Yeah.
really crazy. You'd be like, man, weren't you just here? And sure enough, they were. But they had to go do a run and come back.
Right.
And
Oh,
they just
wow.
burn. I mean, when they get off that boom, they drop down just a little bit, turn that thing over, and they gone. I mean, pushing it up as fast as they can,
Wow.
and they're gone. And it's like, sheesh, that's so cool. But I still rather be in my jet
Yeah,
because at
right.
least I can get up and walk around. You can't. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Oh, wow.
When people ask me, they're like, "Oh, were you a fighter pilot?" I was like, And I don't say it like they think I'm saying it to be like, man, no, but I wish I was. I'm saying because I don't want to be one. I did
Yeah.
not want to be. Once the reality set in, so when you're getting recruited and all that stuff, they're gonna push it. Oh yeah, man, fighter pilot is cool. The best thing you ever want to be. Well, listen here. The reality set in when we're flying from North Carolina to England with 2 to 4 F-15s with us on two on each wingtip, and they can't walk around on their plane. I can. That's when the reality set in. I said, you know what? I think I got the better job.
Oh, wow.
You got to take the perks when you get them, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
So that would have to be my favorite, man. That was the most. I don't even know how to accurately convey the the things that go on. First off, that go on in your mind, even when you're just seeing it. Because
Oh,
when he
yeah.
showed me the video, the recruiter, when he showed me that video, I said, "Okay, that's a funny prank." But what's the real job that I'm going to be doing? You know? He's like, "No, that's the job," and I was like, "You sure?" Like, 'cause that's good. It's cool, but I don't know, man. That seems kind of risky. You got two airplanes. They're about anywhere from 20 to 30 feet apart from each other.
Yeah, right.
Hear me clearly. 20 to 30 feet apart from each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on
That's
now.
I know. That's
These are not small things. They're way
no.
bigger than our cars.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. That's all I can say about that.
That's
It's
pretty
crazy.
cool.
It's just like if you were driving down the highway and the only way we could get our gas was if we pulled up behind one of those tankers that carry the gas to the actual gas station, and we
Right.
had to put this hose in my tank.
Yeah, right.
Like it's like one of those. Not doing it. I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
doing
that's crazy.
it. Yeah.
That is really neat. What an awesome job. Um, so take me through. You were flying high, right? You
Oh
were
yeah.
loving the Air Force,
Oh
having
yeah.
a great life, and then motorcycle accident.
Mm.
Um, changed your plans. Um, and I'm sure had quite an impact on you. Can you talk to me a little bit about that story if you're okay with that?
Yeah, change my plans is an understatement.
Yeah,
That
I'm
it
sure.
changed my life
Yeah.
in more ways than one. It was, I don't even know where to start. Like so that day of the accident, I actually would have to work for the military. I had to go in that weekend
Mm.
because it was May 5th, 2017, which was a Friday. So I had to go that weekend. Some might call it Cinco de Mayo. I call it
Uh,
my new life's journey,
right.
you
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
And so I was actually doing some work for my other business. This Amey Motivation is not my first business. Before I lost my eyesight, I had a business called Kiwi Enterprise, and I did website design and management, social media marketing, and photography for small businesses and those alike.
Oh, wow.
And so this particular day, I would be taking pictures of my church um, because I decided to take over the webmastering for the church because
Hmm.
we didn't have one, and I had already went through the schooling, classes and all that stuff for it
Right.
with my degree that I was studying. By the way, which was computer information systems with a
Hmm.
specialization in systems analysis and integration. Just a big long word of saying, "Hey, do some coding for us."
Yeah, right.
And so anyway, as I went to take these photos, I would go from my apartment. So my bike was in the garage. I had a garage, and my from my apartment to the church was like a 10-minute ride. So I didn't live far from my church. And this is in Durham, North Carolina, by the way. And it was when I say a beautiful day, I don't even know if that's the accurate word to use. This day was just amazing. It was glorious. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. Fantabulous. There we go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It was just awesome. And I was like, there's no way I can put this bike up just riding it for, 20 minutes. And then I go to work. That's boring because all I'm gonna do is think about the bike the whole time I'm at work, and I
Hmm.
know I will. That was just my mindset. If I enjoyed something or had too much fun, I'm always thinking about it, and that's what that motorcycle did for me. It made me excited, and Anyway, I take the pictures, and I'm like, what do I want to do? I want to take this bike home. Nah, I'm gonna go to the lake. And so I rode the bike out to Jordan Lake in North Carolina, and from my church, that's about a 30-minute ride. That's a good ride for me.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good ride for me. I That's enough to say I rode somewhere. And I ride to the lake with no problems. And this particular area is actually on the cover of my book. Don't Focus on Why Me from Motorcycle Accident and Miracle. The space where I would actually go sit, that is the cover.
Oh, wow.
That is you see the trees, you see like this dock slash pier that with the walkway and a little bit of the water and the rocks off to the left side. And then my bike is kind of in the center of the book cover. But that's just because I wanted to put my bike up there. By the way, that is my actual bike on the front of that cover. That is Nina, and I did name my bike.
I
I
love
did.
it.
And so uh this is where I would always go. Like when I went to the lake, I would go to relax, unwind, meditate, whatever. Just be by myself because
Hmm.
there would never the most people I had ever seen at this one particular area at any given time was me and two others, and they were fishing. That's it.
Wow.
And they were on the far side. I was sitting close to the where the walkway was. It was never many people out there because I always went during the day too, like so in the middle of the day. So that's another way to avoid a high traffic volume. And so I would be sitting there and I'm zoned out, and then a car. So where the dock slash pier sat was right beside the highway,
Mhm.
but the highway was kind of up at an angle, like up a hill, but you was right there by it, so you could hear the car when it goes by. And so the car went by, and I'm like, oh snap, oh I gotta go. So I looked at my wristwatch, and I was like, I gotta go, I gotta get back, I had to work, And so jump on the bike, take off. And as I'm headed down this highway, you know, the if you look at the book cover, there are tall trees there on the cover. Well, that's the same way this road looks. It's trees on both sides. The only time there are no trees is at intersections, driveways. There's a gas station that I used to. It was like a small, really small BP gas station. It had maybe four pumps, so like two and two. That's what I mean by four.
Right.
Yeah, really small. So that's how I told you that's like a real back road, country back road, and then a produce farm. That's it. That's all that back there. So, um, in these areas though, the trees would be cut back wherever you saw those spots. And so, as I'm riding down the road, I had a Bluetooth capability, so connectivity to my helmet, and it was on the right side. That's why I'm touching my right ear right now, because I
Mhm.
can remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm t- I'm not messing with it, but I'm listening to music. And like I said, this was 2017, so around that time, it was probably Bruno Mars, the 24 Karat Magic album when it came out, and that was a really good album. And I'm just jamming out and riding. And like I said, it was a beautiful day. Everything was just going so amazing until it wasn't.
Right.
And that's when that Honda Accord, silver to be exact, would pull out in front of me. And as I tell the story all the time, I only had three options. I could go right and go into those trees I've been telling y'all about. That's all alongside this road. I could go left and go into the oncoming traffic because it's only two lanes. Or I could do what ended up happening, and that's freezing up and hitting him, which was probably my safest, best bet was to do that.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, granted, I still didn't want it to happen, but it's funny because some people, I will not say all, but some people just might think that these motorcycles can stop on a dime. You wouldn't be wrong, but I'm gonna tell you how they stop on a dime. The first one is that you locked up that front brake, so you flipped off of the bike. The second way that it stops on a dime is what happened to me. You either fell and laid that bike down, or you hit something. That's it. Them the only two choices you got.
Right.
Even when my motor, because this happened once too, even when my motor died on me on the highway, it didn't stop. The bike just coasted. So you killing the motor can't even, stop you instantly.
Right.
So that's the only ways it can happen. And back to the scene of the crime, basically is what I call it. Scene of the accident. Because I think I call it a crime because this is a crime. It's a crime shame what he did to me. And I can laugh about it now, but it was not funny then.
Sure.
This guy pulls out in front of me, and uh, from the police report, because I do not, and I repeat, I do not remember any of it. Thankfully, I'm actually grateful that I don't.
Mm.
Um, Two cars were behind him coming from that same intersection, and on the police report, they saw me coming, so they don't know why he didn't. This is on the police report. This is not me.
Mm.
I didn't say this. I am relaying what they said.
Right.
Yeah. That's what was on the police report, which made it even worse when I found out. Because now I'm saying to myself, well, what were you doing?
Yeah.
because now you're distracted. And so, anywho, I would have to be life flighted. Yeah, there's no ambulance for this one.
Right. Sure.
The best thing to do is get me stabilized somehow and get me to the hospital, the quickest trauma unit you can find. And so they would life flight me from that area of wherever I had that accident, the intersection that I had it, and from I would go to UNC Hospital in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Go Tar Heels, by the way, because I am a Tar Heel fan. uh, they would, of course, take me to the ICU and get everything going as quick as they could. I'm pretty sure they started in the helicopter, whatever they could start on me. But I wouldn't know nothing about what happened to me for the next month. So from May 5th to June the 6th, I know nothing. I lost a whole month of my life
Wow.
because I was in a medically induced coma. The
Mm.
countless surgeries they had to do, literally flipping me from front to back, like having to do my back, my spinal cord, doing stuff on my front. I I couldn't I couldn't win for losing,
Wow.
and I was getting literally cut from my head all the way down to my right foot. I got surgery done. It's
Wow.
just it's so for me to be talking to you first and foremost
It's
is
a
amazing.
miracle.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why my title says From Motorcycle Accident to Miracle.
Right.
Hello, viewers and listeners. Are you a military veteran or military family member and looking to own your own business? If so, go to JDog.com and check out our two veteran focused franchises, JDog Junk Removal and Hauling and JDog Carpet Cleaning and Floor Care. Our franchisees nationwide are always looking to hire fellow veterans and patriots. JDog is the world's largest military franchise system with hundreds of locations nationwide. We are nearly 90% veteran owned with the goal of reducing the veteran unemployment rate to under 1%. Check us out. Go to jdog.com to learn more. Now, back to the podcast.
Because hear me clearly, every single doctor did not think I was going to make it. I even talked to one face to face. The one that did my spinal cord surgery, I talked to him face to face. And he said, I did not think you were going to make it. I was just doing the surgery for protocol. To hear that said to you
Wow.
by a doctor, I mean, it's okay if it was you were talking about, well, it's not okay. But it's different if it was said to you about somebody else. This was said to me about me.
Right.
But you know what I did when he said that? I smiled at him. I did. I gave him the biggest smile. Showed all my 32 is what I call it. And I said, well, if you like because I was sitting up on the bed doing this follow-up appointment. This was after I was this was well after I was discharged from the hospital, and I could walk then. He didn't know. He didn't know I could walk. He thought I was going to be in a wheelchair when he came in the room. So this is where all this came in. He thought I was
Wow.
going to be in a wheelchair, and he was like, "Wow." I was like, "What happened?" I looked back at my mom. I'm like, "What you doing back there?" Like, because she was behind me. I was like, "What you doing back there?" And she was like, "He's talking about you." I was like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, I mean, I honestly didn't think I was gonna come in here and see you sitting up on the edge of this bed. I thought I was gonna see you in a wheelchair." My thought process was to say, "Well, I've been waiting on you for quite some time. My back is actually starting to hurt." But I did say that. I was like, "Well, yeah, I can sit up." He said, "That's awesome." I said, "I can do you one better." He's like, "What's that?" I said, "I'll stand up for you." He's like, oh, and he slid back. He was like, go ahead. Because, you know, they have those rolly stools.
Right.
He slid back. He said, go ahead. And so I stood up and I was like, I put my hands on my hips and I said, yeah, how you like me now? And sure enough, he was like, wow. He had a student with him too. And that was pretty cool to show, you know, just to be like, yeah, I mean, you did surgery, but I know who healed me,
Right.
you
God
know?
did.
Yes, exactly.
It was not your time.
Mm-mm.
It was not your time, Kijuan.
No, no, no.
He has lots of stuff for you to do down here. And
Yeah.
from your book, and so you took this experience and turned it into a positive. You're a motivational speaker, a mentor, you're an ambassador for the Wounded Warrior program. And I would love to hear how all of that got started.
Huh. Well, it's funny enough. So I've never in a million years wanted to be in front of people talking. Never.
You know what? I say the same thing too.
Yeah, never. I don't care. Listen, I'm very funny. I can be a comedian all day long. I can act a clown and a fool all day long. I used to do that in school. So that's not the problem. The problem is when I have to be the person who knows what I'm talking about. When I'm supposed to be delivering a message that is supposed to impact somebody for the better. I can be funny and I don't care what you think. But now that I have to be serious and I have to care what comes out of my mouth, okay, there's a problem. You know, so that's kind of where it was. Even when I was in the military, I did not want to do any presentations. And I had to because I did become an instructor for my job. So I
Right.
taught my job too. So I didn't want to do this. People was like, "Why are you so shy?" It's not that I'm shy. It's that now you guys are actually focusing on what I'm saying. You know, like there is
Yeah.
a difference when you're being a clown and when you're literally having to say something that you're probably going to grab onto. And if I misspeak, you're going to call me out on it. You know, so um that was kind of the thing that started the speaking and especially the book was more so people hinting at it. Like they kept pushing it, pushing it, pushing. Man, you gotta speak. You gotta tell your story. You gotta write a book about. You should write a book about this. So that'll be awesome. Oh my god. I'm like, sheesh. And the chatter doesn't stop. And I'll tell you why. It's not because they were talking to me all the time. It's because now, so give you a little bit of insight into my life. When you can't see, your eyes is so this is what I say. Your eyes are the escape to the outside world.
Mm.
So getting out of your brain, I can just look out that window, or used to, and just daydream all day long. Now I can't do that. So guess where I'm stuck? I'm stuck in the imageries, the imaginations, all the thinking processes that happen in my head.
True.
And
Yeah.
so when you think of it that way,
Mm.
and I keep hearing people over and over in my head, you're not even in front of me, but I still hear you talking. Like, you know, oh, why does he keep saying that? Oh, wait, he's not even here. What are you talking about? You know, like I'm your mind can present 40,000 thoughts a day. People don't even realize that. And so I'm going through this. I'm about to go crazy. I gotta
Right.
get this stuff out because if I don't, I'm gonna go nuts.
Right.
Because I'm sitting there by myself a lot, and you know, you want to watch TV, but I mean, what is TV nowadays? Because it's a lot of the stuff is not quality. A lot of the stuff is negative. A lot of the stuff is just like I don't even want to hear it,
Right. Sure.
you know. And so I'll be honest. What I did was I ended up. So I have Apple TV, the little box or whatever. So what I did, I ended up buying all the old shows I used to watch back in the day,
Oh,
and I watched
there
those
you
on
go.
repeat. I watched those
Oh,
on repeat. All those sitcoms and those movies I used to watch back in the day, I watch them on repeat.
yeah. Oh my
You know,
gosh.
so I relive my childhood over and over again, and because those were happy times.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and that's how I find peace too, is
Yeah.
reliving happy moments.
Yes.
So excuse me. Another thing is just, sheesh. I kind of got sidetracked. Now I forgot where I was going.
Just so you've done multiple speaking engagements,
Yes,
correct?
yes. So that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about. How I got started in this. So people, telling me over and over, you should do it, and I was like, okay, whatever. Then I got a superpower. I remembered that I have a superpower. It's not that I can talk. I turned my vision loss or eyesight loss, because I did not lose my vision. I
Right.
lost my eyesight. I turned my eyesight loss into a superpower. So when I am now speaking in front of you, I can't see what faces you're making. I don't understand what the little conversation you might be carrying on in the corner, and that's distracting me. Nope, don't see it.
Oh,
I'm not seeing
that's
you walking around.
right.
Yep, I'm not seeing you get up, walking out the room. I don't care. All I do is deliver my message. I control the room because I control it up here.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that way.
Yeah.
That is a really interesting way to look at things.
Yep. Yep. I control everything in my mind.
Right.
And it's so beautiful. You ever seen that movie, The Matrix?
I can't, I think I've seen parts of it a very
Yeah.
long time ago.
So yeah,
Um,
that's the one with Keanu Reeves. And they're like basically in a computer simulated world, basically is what it seems like.
right. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they get
yeah.
plugged in.
Yes.
And so the reason I talk about that is because that's how I feel sometimes. I feel like I'm plugged in. Let me plug into my matrix. Amey motivation is my matrix.
Right.
So when I go on stage, I'm now plugged in.
That's a
You're
great
pl-
way to that's a
yeah,
great way. I love that. That's a
yeah.
great way to look at it.
Hmm.
So, Kiwan, that might be a great segue into my next question.
Okay.
So, my next question is I would love to know what your tactical treasure is. What motivates you? What helps you along life's journey?
Every time I hear somebody respond to my story, it doesn't matter what the response is. And I say that because I know my story is impactful, but sometimes you feel like it's not. And then you get that reminder.
Right.
Somebody DMs me. You saved my brother's life. Your book saved my brother's life. He had a motorcycle accident just like you and lost his eyesight. And he
Oh,
was ready to
wow.
end it all. But I let him listen to the book. And now he wants to move forward in his life. And things like that,
That's an amazing story in itself.
you talk
Wow.
about a treasure.
Yeah.
I tuck that one away in my heart.
Right.
That is in my treasure chest.
Mm,
You like that? That
I
wordplay.
do. I do.
Yeah, so that is a great one. I mean, the mentorship that I do as well, man. I have a young guy who um, is losing his eyesight. It's not completely gone yet, but it's slowly deteriorating.
Mm,
And he was so upset and in arms about, gosh, man, I'm getting ready to get married this year, and I want to have kids, and I'm not gonna be able to see them grow up. And I was like, that's one way of looking at it.
mm.
Or you could do like I do. I don't have children, but I have nephews. And when they come to me, guess what I do? I interact with them. We wrestle, we play. Oh man, y'all get ready to go somewhere? Oh, what you got on? Oh, you got a t-shirt with a shark on it? What color's the shirt? It's yellow? What color's the shark? It's blue? That's awesome, dude. Is it from one of your favorite cartoons? It is? Oh, which one? That's what I do.
Yeah.
Allow them to interact with you and tell you what they got going on.
Yeah.
That way you're still dad. That way I'm still uncle. But just in a little bit of a different way. I am Uncle Kijuan, who's blind. I'm not the blind uncle.
Mm.
You hear the difference?
Yes. Yes, there
Yes.
is a difference. Yes.
Yeah. So you have to change the narrative.
Hmm.
Think of the positive. Don't always think about what you can't do. Think about what you can, and then go from there.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it. I love that. That's a very special tactical treasure. You're
Thank
doing great work,
you.
Kiwan.
Yeah.
You're such an inspiration and a motivation to so many people. So, one last question I would ask you.
Okay.
What do you hope that veterans and even civilians take away from your story?
Well, okay. So here's what. So yes, I was an in-flight refueling specialist. I was on the KC-135. For those who don't know what that is, that plane was made in 1950s. Hear me clearly. The 1950s. It is now 70 years old.
Wow.
That's somebody's grandpa's age.
Yeah.
So when I was flying around on that plane, I thought that would be my detriment.
Uh,
I thought that would be what would take me out. How old this plane was, and we're still flying it like it's brand new.
wow. Oh,
You know what
no.
I mean? We're flying that sucker every day.
Yeah.
And she's still flying. Still
Wow.
flying.
That's
Yeah, still
amazing.
flying. It is. It really is. It is still flying till today. Now the base that I was at, Seymour Johnson, they don't have it anymore. They got the new ones, the KC-46s. That one's barely flying. That's funny, right? The new one is barely flying and the old
Right.
one,
Yeah.
I tell you.
Oh,
Anyway, Boeing did a great job on the KC-135. They're trying with the 46. And so I thought that would be my downfall. Something on that plane, something when I was deployed. We did have to shut down an engine once when we were in flight, but we have four. So shutting down one is okay. You could actually fly on one in that plane. You just have to be below 200,000 pounds. That's it. That's the only requirement. You got to be below 200,000 pounds. And that one engine will chug you along with no problem. But we got four of those monsters. And so when you got all four, it's some power. But anywho, the thing that I want to bring up here is it's not always going to be combat related. Here, let me say that one more time. It is not always going to be combat related. Oh, what is it? Thank you for asking. I'm glad you did.
I was
Oh,
just going to.
no. I was doing that to the audience. Yeah. So it is whatever gets you out may not be combat related. It could be MST, which is military sexual trauma. That is not combat related. It could be an autoimmune disease. That is not always combat related. You could have got bitten by a tick, and now you have some disease in you. It could be an accident, a car accident, motor vehicle accident. It did not have to be, it wasn't an IED for me. Yes, I know people that got blown up in a Humvee from an IED. I do know those people, and they are still alive. But that is not what happened to me. We can have an accident on any given day.
True.
And the thing about it is, it does not make you less than a warrior. You're still a warrior, regardless of whether it was combat or not, because you did serve that time. I can't take back my 10 years. I know that.
Mm.
I wish I was 23. I am 33, not 23. I definitely feel like 33 every day I wake up. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Great words of wisdom. I love it.
Thank
Um,
you.
so, Kiwan, before you go, and this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. So inspiring. And I can understand why people love to hear your motivational speaking. You certainly have mastered that very well. Um, where can people find and connect with you, and where can they find out more information on purchasing your book or booking you as a keynote speaker?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to my website first and foremost, and that is ameymotivation.com. Again, that is AMEY motivation.com. On there, you can find my book, Don't Focus on Why Me, From Motorcycle Accident to Miracle. There is a link to that, and I believe that is the Amazon link. That's how you get the paperback version. If
Hmm.
you would like to do the Kindle version, you can go to Kindle and search it. You can go to Audible and search it, and Apple Books. So Audible and Apple Books are both the audio versions of the
Okay,
book, and they sound amazing, by the way. The guy
good.
did an amazing job narrating. Um, as far as booking me, you can go to that website and you can find the book me tab on or button on there, and you can fill out the form, whatever you need me to do, wherever you want me to be, however we can get this done. Let's do it, guys, because I want to motivate you and inspire you every single day. And last but not least, my social media handles are on there. I have been told that some of them might refer you right back to the page. So the best thing to do, I would say, is just go on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter, also known as X. And you can search my first and last name, Kijuan, Kijuan, Amey, Amey.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you so much for that information. And again, Kiwan, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all that you did. Your story's amazing. And yes, you are here for a reason, sir. God saved you for a reason to do exactly what you're doing today. Thank you so much. And I think I'm going to have to check out the book.
Yeah.
I actually, there was actually a sample that you
Mhm.
could read. I think it was on Amazon,
Yeah.
and I read the sample, and it was really intriguing, and I ordered the book. So,
Yeah.
so I
I'm
can't
telling
wait
you
to
that
read the whole thing.
I'm telling you that sample, that is really all it is, because the rest of the book, you're gonna be like, holy smokes.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's great. Kiwan, thank you so much for being with us today. Appreciate your story, and I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mrs. J Dog, for allowing me to use your platform to tell my story.
Of course. Bye bye. Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures Podcast. We've just finished up an amazing, very inspiring story with our guest, Kijuan Amey, who was a U.S. Air Force veteran and is now the visionary founder and CEO of Amey Motivation LLC, which is a story of perseverance and inspiration. Now armed with an inspiring story of overcoming adversity, Kijuan has become a motivational force, empowering others to reach their highest potential. His story has inspired countless people around the world. He has spoken at events across the United States and has even traveled internationally to share his message of hope and perseverance. Whether addressing a crowd of 1,500 or engaging in one-on-one sessions, Kijuan is well equipped for any speaking engagement. He's not just a speaker, he's a catalyst for transformation, ready for the task ahead. Through his speeches, Kijuan Amey has helped others find the strength to overcome their own challenges and achieve their dreams. His book, Don't Focus on Why Me, Motorcycle Accident to Miracle, is a journey of how Kijuan Amey turned tragedy into triumph. As Kijuan says, come along and explore the journey through my darkened eyes that have been made to see clearly. To learn more about Kijuan Amey, to book him for a speaking event, and to purchase his book, you can go to ameymotivation.com, and Amey is spelled Amey, motivation.com, or you can check out his book on amazon.com, and you can also order the Kindle version and the Audible version on Amazon as well. Again, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, you can find Tactical Treasures podcast on all your favorite podcast streaming platforms, as well as American Grit, our website, jdogpodcast.com, and our dedicated YouTube channel. We are now airing on Reese Across America Radio on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern for the encore. You can also find Reese Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. We are also proud to share that our JDog Foundation is a Reese Across America sponsorship group. For each $17 Veterans Wreath you sponsor, $5 goes directly back to the JDog Foundation, whose mission is to prevent veteran suicide and heal veterans' mental health and PTSD. You can donate right now at reaseacrossamerica.org/JDog. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on another podcast real soon. Bye-bye now.